Welcome to Shock 'em Dead Podcast, episode 11. Today we're going to be talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, whatever, reboot.
Did they even bother naming it something else, or were they just like, look what we did?
No,
we used the same name.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022.
Putting a year at the end of something so stupid. Anyway, sorry.
Well, they didn't. That's what everyone's calling it. Yeah. And we're going to be talking about the 1989
box office hit.
Gary Busey classic, Hider in the House.
Is there really a Gary Busey classic?
Yeah.
Bulletproof?
Yeah.
Butthorn proof?
Quigley.
It's classic.
But first, what have we been up to?
I always go first. How about you go first?
I don't know what I've been up to. I haven't been doing anything.
I guess I'll go first.
Been working.
Well, I played Final Fantasy VIII. I got to the very end, and then I was like, I didn't do all the stuff I wanted to do. And there are certain things that you have to do at a certain point in the game that I had passed. No spoilers. I'm at the end of the game. So I'm gonna restart it. You know.
And I've been playing Horizon Forbidden West. It's been really good so far. I've been playing it for like 32 hours.
It's an interesting story. Like I'm sitting on the couch playing Final Fantasy VIII, and I'll pause that so I could see what's going on, because Aloy is cool. The first one was cool. What I saw, I would like to play it. It seems like a really good game.
Mm-hmm.
Really fun too. Seems like decent, mechanics with shooting and everything, and combat.
And I've been replaying Earthbound at work. That's been fun.
I'd like to play that next, but I was thinking, like, wouldn't it be weird if I was playing it at the same time you were?
Oh, yes.
I don't know. I could ask you if I was stuck somewhere.
Yeah.
Is it? I wouldn't say it's probably a difficult game.
No.
Except for what to do with the chicken, and if you've got a mushroom on your head.
Yeah. Well, if you got a mushroom on your head, you just talk to the guy with the blue hair at the hospital.
Just like in real life.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe one time we could talk about Final Fantasy VIII, because that's his favorite game.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like I'm like, me too, but that's probably my favorite game I've played. Because, I'm not going to go over it at all, but I very much relate to Squall, and I feel it. I know you do too.
He's a whiner.
We were talking about it earlier. You want a whiner? Titus.
He's a little spoiled rich boy.
His dad was like, for anybody who's played the game, I'm not spoiling anything, because how would you know what the hell I was talking about? That plot, by the way, is just... I know it's a metaphor and all that stuff and symbolism, but it's just a little bit, I don't know. I still like 10, but his dad was like, I'm sorry. He was, I hate you, Dad. It's like, what did he even do?
Ha 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 ha!
That's something you should be sorry about right there. That's terrible. I was like, oh. It's like when you're in the bathroom just having a pee, and then some fat lady gets in the stall. Well, fat dude in your case. If it's a fat lady, that'd be even worse. Sits down next to you, just... You're just like, oh, no. Oh, you just get those pants up, get out of there, wash your hands. That's what that laughing scene in Final Fantasy X feels like. It's also just a stinky. Did you ever notice that? You got a scent in your nose?
Mm-mm. Is it as cringy as that video, that girl doing the puppet show?
Oh my god, that hurt my soul. It's not the same kind of cringe. That was like...
Nobody was laughing.
It feels like if all I could think of is crumpled up garbage. Just in a void. I don't know why. I don't know. It's like that. Oh, just it's uncomfortable to watch. It's like some of these stupid kids at work that say stuff, and you're like,
dude, that was busting.
Bro. If I hear bro one more time, I'm going to get a cannon, set up a matinee.
And bro them into the sun.
Yes.
Well, this morning, we got a package in the mail from Arty. You might remember us mentioning him in the last one. He gave us his zine last time, Night of the Bloody Tapes, which I think I might have forgotten to put a link to in the description, so I will. Oh.
There it goes. Sorry, Arty. It wasn't intentional.
Let me stand it up and not knock it over. There. So I will put a link to it this time.
Yeah, and if he's got any recent issues or, back issues of Mondo Sleazo, I'll look into that, and I will send you a link so you could check that out too, because he does a very good job with both things.
But he sent us a letter. He says he got one sale out of it, out of us mentioning his zine.
Buy more.
Yeah, everyone else go buy one. He says
it's a lot of work.
Issue 11 is coming soon, though. He says at the end, and
he sent us a Mortician thing.
Yeah, he says he likes 4 songs from Mortician.
I guess we had mentioned them.
Yeah, I think so, because we don't really care for them. But I mean, I haven't listened to everything. There might be something I like. I know that dude's been making music for like 30 years.
Yeah, I'm sure I could find 1 or 2 things. But what I've heard, it didn't really grab my attention,
But he sent us a copy of V, the 1967? Yeah, 1967 Ukrainian abstinence or pro-abstinence horror movie, I think.
We watched a preview for it. I mean, you know what? It's like our friend Michael said. Michael does our... Well, first of all, he's our buddy. He's a great guy. Let me take this opportunity to make a public apology to all I offended about mounds. Listen, they're not that bad. You know what's bad? Almond Joy. Now there's going to be backlash from that. No, the backlash I got was from Michael. And by that I mean he was just like, I like mounds. What's wrong with mounds? I tried it. They're not bad, but they're not good. I'm not going to be looking at a rack of candy bars and be like, mounds.
But if you're walking down the street and you find one, you'll pick it up and eat it.
No.
Why not?
A bird might have pecked it. A shit-ass kid might have drooled on it, had butt stains on it. I don't know.
Yes, but he sent us this copy of V.
I was about to say, we watched the preview of it, and it's like Michael said, I would way rather watch a bad or poorly done old movie any day than I would a new good movie. Yeah. Because as you're about to hear...
Yeah, we're going to rip into a new movie here in a minute.
Yeah.
He also sent us a copy of Drive-In Asylum, another tape zine.
You know what? I think I have an issue of theirs that he had sent me.
Yeah, I remember it was either him or one of the other people that you traded with sent you a horror movie zine.
I still have a drawer full of... or I have drawers full of stuff I got sent when I did the fanzine. A lot of it is demos and... albums and albums. Whoa.
And he sent us a bunch of
stickers and flyers.
Flyers and postcards and stuff.
What is this one? Nihilistic Holocaust available release. I don't know what that is, but that's a cool looking flyer. I'll have to look into that. Huh. Nice border. Pretty cool. Looks like something that would be in a Soul Grinder zine. If you haven't checked that out, if you don't know who Paul Caravasi is, or I'm sorry if I pronounced his last name wrong, but he's a really, really good guy. He was like on board as soon as I started Thrash Dance. Helped out a lot. He's a really good guy. He's done Soul Grinder for a long time. If you like fanzines and I mean, he puts a lot of effort into that. I think he works with a few other people, but he puts out some quality stuff, so check that out.
Thank you, Arty, for sending in that DVD.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll watch it and we'll talk about it on an episode.
Yeah.
Sometime soon.
I'm also Ukrainian, so that's cool.
Ukrainian-Italian.
Yeah, Ukrainian and Italian, and my dad's dad was Ukrainian, and my dad's mom is ? I don't know. And my mom is Italian.
Your dad's mom is, or was.
Why do you know and I don't?
I wasn't going to say a heritage. I was just going to say old smoker going to the casino lady.
Yep. Let's move on.
So, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. It's your new favorite Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, isn't it?
You know what? I was thinking about it, and I'm going to keep this really short. I'm going to do a 2-word review of this movie. Shit sandwich. It was garbage. Who were they trying to appeal to?
I don't know. Like, if they were trying to appeal to the people that are liking the movie, then they wouldn't be making fun of them and killing them. But if they were appealing to people that like horror movies, they wouldn't be making such a crappy horror movie.
You know, with characters in movies, you don't... Like, I feel like that it's very synthetic. Like, you got what people refer to as millennials, even though I would call... That's Gen Z, isn't it?
Yeah, they're the ones after us.
Okay, yes, that's Gen Z. So, it's like they just synthesized everything they think, or maybe they just did a search on Twitter or something, I don't know. And then they got, what was with the redneck guy? It was like, I ain't here to please nobody. And then he was like, wow, it must be so hard for you. It's like, if that were a real redneck, he'd be so stupid he wouldn't even give a shit.
Here's your flag.
Well, I'm not getting into that. But, don't take that one way or the other. Wait. Never mind. It's wrong. Anyway. Flag, wrong. That's what I mean. Anyhow. What I was going to say was, if that were a real redneck in the sense of hillbilly redneck, which is what they were trying to drive home, like a real redneck that's not an asshole, who would be working out on the fields and everything and have a farm. That's why they were called rednecks, and he just enjoys being in the country. That's one thing, but this guy was supposed to be like a bigot, asshole. I have guns. Why would he have that gun sitting on the table?
At his job.
It was either a submachine gun or an automatic assault rifle.
And why did he have a bed there? Was he living there while he was working there?
I don't know. And also, here's the first thing I was thinking. If a redneck, an actual redneck, as if he were supposed to be portrayed in that movie, saw a bunch of hipster kids with their stupid shaved off hair with the little ponytail nub at the top and their sweater vests draped over their arms coming on some bus, there wouldn't have to be a leather face if that dude had a gun out in the middle of nowhere and he's friends with the sheriff. Forget about it.
Yeah. There would be no Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
It would be redneck guy
with a assault rifle massacre.
Yeah. But with the characters in horror movies, say for instance, one that everybody knows, Friday the 13th. Obviously, they're a bunch of careless kids just having fun on summer vacation in a camp. And you're like, I understand, I guess, because they're just being stupid kids. And then the circumstances end up having a handicapped kid drown that was Jason Voorhees. Mm-hmm. So you know the plot. There's a plot. B, it's not ridiculously stupid. Why would you want to build a community out in the middle of fucking nowhere?
Oh yeah, well the plot of the movie, for those who haven't watched it,
just don't. By the way, don't.
Is a like an influencer.
Strike one.
And his wife and his two friends, or well, Like the girl with the big weird eyebrows and the weird nose is like the guy's show partner or something.
How's that not get in the way of your vision? I don't understand.
But they buy a small town, Harlow, Texas, and they're going to turn it into like little hipster town so they can get away from all the violence of the city.
Strike two. Also, if you're out in the middle of nowhere, that's a really bad idea because you don't have any hospitals, you don't have any stores, and if you needed stuff delivered to you from a store, that probably wouldn't be on the route that someone would have to deliver to stores.
But
so you'd have to get...
They have their own stores.
But this makes no fucking sense. I'm talking like if they opened up their little tofu hipster store, whatever the fuck, I don't know, and then they wanted to... Realistically, this is if you actually thought about the plot for 0.5 seconds. If you wanted to actually stock, who would you get? Because there are routes. You could choose from the different vendors based on the routes they take, if I am to understand that correctly. Who the fuck would they get?
Well, I mean, they would, like, if you ordered something, they would bring it to you. They would just...
Yes, but that, you know what, that guy is kind of right about them being a cult because their money's going to circulate around town.
Mm-hmm.
It's not an open community to where you would actually... That's the second thing that doesn't make sense. You're not giving back to the community. You're being selfish in that you want to just have your own space and pretend like everything else doesn't exist. How about you do this inside of an actual town and you try and spread your positive vibes or whatever the fuck? I don't know. You know what? If you believe in that stuff, whatever they were I couldn't even tell what the point was. It was like no guns, anti-gun, I don't know.
Yeah, like the one little quiet girl kept having flashbacks to like a school shooting, I guess, that she was in and never explained. It just showed her laying on the ground with a bunch of bodies.
I couldn't even tell where they were.
I guess a school. It looked like a school hallway with lockers or something. I don't know. Even though she looked like she's like in her mid-20s.
Yeah, I don't know. And there's... I don't understand when all this shit starts going down, she's looking like when people are massacred in front of her, she's still looking at the gun like, oh, I don't know. I think you would have a new fucking fear.
Yeah.
After you saw your friends get massacred and there's actual puddles of blood coming towards you. I think you're just going to grab that gun and go to town.
Or if there were puddles of mud coming after you. Freer!
I need an easy free. Okay, sorry. If you saw that coming under the door at you, I think you'd be scared too. So what I'm trying to say, characters, very extremely unlikable. Other characters, besides the main ones, very extremely unlikable. There was no winning party in this situation. I just hated everybody. I was like, you're all fucking dumb and I don't like this.
But back to the story.
Sorry.
So they buy this town and they plan on auctioning it off. And they're looking around at all the different buildings, and they're like, oh, that could be a tofu store, and that could be my
art gallery.
My anus bleaching store.
That's actually the art gallery, remember?
But they run across this one building, and like, why would... I don't know. Well, they get to the building, and there's a Confederate battle flag hanging from the front of it.
Why would that be there?
Well, why would Leatherface's family be living in a building like that? Because it wasn't like a house.
No.
And
why would they have a flag? Why would they fucking care about anything?
And then, most other Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies, they have a house out on a farm in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
So why is his mom living in a commercial building?
I don't know. Was that his mom?
Yeah.
I thought she was like the caretaker or something.
Or whatever she is doing. They never explained. Just old lady. But they see the flag. They go up. They try to take the flag down. And, they can't get it. So they come back down the stairs. And then the old lady's like, what are you doing in my house? And then
That was stupid.
They try to tell her
Why is she there? I don't know.
That they own her house, and then
didn't they technically not?
Yeah. The police come and escort her out of the house, and then the guy's
I'm sorry,
looking for the paperwork, and then he doesn't have the paperwork.
Was that supposed to be interesting?
I guess because he didn't actually own her house.
It's like, okay, are you gonna do your taxes now? I don't fucking care.
So, the police are taking her and her son away, which is Leatherface.
But that one girl's like, I'd like to go, and I feel bad.
Yeah, so they're going, and then the old lady dies, and then that's what starts the killing. You
know what? The gore isn't even good. Everybody's like, oh, the gore was good. Okay, first off, you don't watch a movie for gore. It's a plus. You might watch something for Tom Savini, but is this fucking Tom Savini? Absolutely not.
I mean, I did like the breaking the arm and stabbing.
That was...
I mean, just because I've never seen that done before, but I didn't like... I mean, it wasn't, like, done well.
Okay, why did the driver get it real bad, but the girl didn't? He just, like, stabbed her in the belly and then was like... Oh, and then walked away. I was like, really? She don't get anything?
But then we start seeing Johnny Winter. He's in this movie. He's been dead for a few years now, and he's in this movie somehow.
You know what we ended up talking? We ended up talking about Johnny and Edgar Winter for while it was going on because we just didn't care.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to spoil the end of it. Now
you can't spoil something that's bad. If there's a bad egg on the counter and you're like, well, I don't want to leave it out, it'll get more rotten. That's not. It's just nasty.
Well, the best part is a bus full of hipsters and a chainsaw.
I guess.
But I still didn't.
If you make it that far.
It's like the dudes they're taking Instagram stories of Leatherface hacking them up. Say, we're going to cancel you, bro, or whatever they said.
I don't know. I hate all the modern lingo and just everything shoved down your throat.
Should I get a man bun and shave the sides of my head?
If you have a man bun, cut it off and shove it up your ass.
If any of you out there think I should get a man bun and shave the sides of my head and wear a granny sweater around my neck, go fart yourself.
Fart are you? That's not the F word, Meatwad. I told him I would rather watch Indian Thriller over and over again, the amount of time that it would take to watch that new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
I would rather watch the Buttercream Gang. Tim found a sealed copy of the Buttercream Gang.
Sealed?
Can you imagine how much that would be worth if you got it graded?
You know what? I was looking up figures because I got a very good deal on some Final Fantasy VIII figures because that's what I do when I have a job. And I saw that there were some graded ones for $900. I was like, absolutely not. Who's paying this?
Not me.
Who would pay it?
Wait, for $900? That's cheap. Wasn't $150,000?
I don't know the prices for graded figures because I was like, why is that so expensive? And I saw it was in a little box, and I was like,
Yeah, like the
got to ruin everything.
The graded Frankenhooker I saw the other day for what was it, like $19,000?
That is the stupidest shit. Like, I don't. Did it start with like baseball cards and then comics?
I think.
I just think it's stupid.
First.
It's stupid. It's like, do you want to pay more for if it's newer? If it's in mint condition?
You know, when I was a kid, I had 2 graded Pokemon cards that my dad got somewhere. I remember they were graded because they were in the hard plastic things and had the little paper at the top that said like 9 point whatever. And I opened them and I used them in my Pokemon deck.
Oh, but you're a little fella.
Yeah. They weren't anything like... I mean, I still have them in there. They weren't like anything good.
Great.
It wasn't like
selling graded stuff is scummy to me.
my deck that had 2 holographic Charizards that got stolen. Those are like a few $100s each now.
Damn. That kid knew.
Well, I'm sure they probably got thrown away.
Yeah, probably.
So, what's your
I was trying to get off topic.
what's your ranking of Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
-5.
Out of 0 through 10. Like,
I have to get a real one? 0.
Yeah, don't watch it.
0.
Like, I think the last Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie I watched was the first remake. I didn't watch any of the sequels of that or the. I
didn't like the remake either.
Or the one where he's wearing papa pants like Matt said. But I mean the first remake, I mean, I thought it was okay when I was a kid, but I mean I was a kid.
Yeah,
it scared the shit out of me because I'd never seen anything. I mean, I'd just seen.
Was that the first thing you saw like that?
I mean, I'd seen like Nightmare on Elm Street.
That's not
and stuff
the same
like that.
thing. People aren't getting gutted. Like there was that one scene in Nightmare on Elm Street, when the blood's going up on the ceiling, but that can't really happen.
Yeah, but like just watching that scene at the beginning when the girl shoots herself in the head and they pan the camera through her head, and I was like, I'm going away, because we were watching it at my Uncle Mike and Aunt Kelly's house.
How old were you?
I don't know. However old I was when it came out.
Huh.
Well, when it came out on video, of course.
Oh. That's still pretty young, because I think I said something about, I think what I could remember scaring the shit out of me, besides Ernest Scared Stupid, was the blood bubble and it coming out of the sink. I didn't want to go in the bathroom like when I had to go in the bathroom, I'd just take a shower super quick. My dad was happy about that. He was like, all right. You only took 10 minutes in the shower. And I was, yes, I know. But, I can't think of anything else I saw that really scared me. Those aliens from Spice World freaked me out.
What?
I don't know why.
I've never seen Spice World.
My mom sent it to me. The tape I had when I was little a few years ago, and I rewatched it. I liked it. I thought it was funny. Watch Spice World instead
of Texas Chainsaw.
Would you?
Yeah.
But that movie is funny.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
You know what was better than the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? We watched a video or something. Yeah, I was like, you know what? That Kill Granny Kill movie looks way better than that new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Yeah, we're gonna watch it and talk about it.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to spoil that, but I remembered seeing that and I was like, you know what? That looks way better than that piece of shit new movie. But that's how it goes. If you've got a bunch of executives and people formulating a fucking movie, this is what you get. Garbage. A flaming pile of garbage. But you know what? Let's
get to the real movie.
I feel like I don't even know exactly what to say about this. We're talking about the 1989, as we said, hit box office classic that never even hit the theaters because Vestron Video went bankrupt, so it went straight to video.
Hider in the House. Here, let me read the back.
Take it away.
He sees you. He hears you.
Is he Santa Claus or Gary Busey?
He knows you. He lives with you. And you don't even know he's there. Welcome to Hider in the House.
Check your attics, everybody. Gary Busey might be up there.
Gary Busey is resident psychopath Tom Sykes.
He might be eating beans with a knife. Sorry.
In a riveting performance that will make you check every last closet in your house.
For Gary Busey.
After his release from a state institution, Tom Sykes finds a cozy new place to call home.
Wait real quick, what if you just heard like the craziest sneeze you've ever heard come from the closet? How's you? God damn it, is that Gary Busey in there?
A secret space in the attic of the Dreyer family. Sykes knows how to hide, As a child, Tom would escape his parents' violent abuse by hiding in the most
sink.
remote areas of the house until one day when he killed them. Now Julie and Phil Dreyer, Mimi Rogers, and Michael McKean have a new nightmare in their dream house.
What's the matter with being sexy?
That was Nigel that said that.
Okay.
He's the creek they think is the wind. He's the noise they blame on the house. Tom Sykes is now a member of the family, and he knows more about them than they know about themselves. Slowly, Sykes' obsession with Julie unleashes demons trapped in a mind that's trapped in the attic, but not for long. An intelligent, gripping psychological thriller featuring attractive performances by Mimi Rogers and Gary Busey. Variety.
Attractive performances. Okay, my first question for you. Do you think this would be a legitimate psychological thriller if it were not Gary Busey? Also, let you answer that question first.
Yeah, but Gary Busey makes it hilarious.
Yes. It could have been an actual, creepy movie, and it's not terrible. Like, we went into it thinking it was going to be goofy as hell. It's not great. Sure is not great, but I was like,
Well, and like you said when we were watching it, like we've watched it before. We've had this for a while. But you said it reminds you of that story about the Watcher.
Yes.
Like the guy that
in was it North Jersey?
Yeah, I think so. They kept sending the family like messages, like saying.
Yeah, he'd put it in their mailbox. How did you not see that ever? That dude put the letter in the mailbox. Nobody around saw it?
I guess not. It was Gary Busey.
Fell again. But, I mean, okay, so you said yes. My second question. What in the hell angle is this bed? I've wondered that every time. Like, is the bed like here's the window and then, here's the bed?
Well, that's from two scenes in the movie. Remember this scene because
he was just right up in her face. Well, no window required.
No, it was like her and then her husband, David St. Hubbins, was over here. They just cut that out, and then the other scene where it was like them laying in the bed and you can see Gary through the window, and they just.
He made a little contraption on the side of the house so he could,
Yeah, and they just photoshopped them together before Photoshop.
It's not great. It's not great. You can't lock him out. He's already in.
You can't lock him out. He's already in. Well,
he fucking kills the dog. The dog didn't even do anything. He just barked a few times, and he's in the middle. He interrupted his bean and snowball meal.
Yeah.
With his combat, and I was like, dude has a combat knife, but he couldn't find a spoon.
He just wanted some beans and snowballs.
We were talking about if we had a restaurant, we'd have a kids meal. It was the Busey meal, and it was snowballs and beans. Careful, kids, don't get that bean juice on your snowballs.
Snowballs and beans.
Or what if it was a snowball filled with beans?
Ew.
I already don't like snowballs.
Wait, didn't I say something the other day about Twinkie filled with beans? Binky. It wasn't that funny, was it?
Banana was my idea.
Binky Barnes.
I just imagine like a blown up JPEG, like a really shitty JPEG of Binky Barnes' face on a box of Twinkies.
Instead of Twinkie the kid, it's Binky the Barnes.
Binky the bean. Oh. What were we talking about? Okay, him eating beans in a snowball with a fucking combat knife.
He killed the dog.
It was a Bowie knife.
It was a Busey knife.
Busey. It was busified. Busify me, Cap. It was busified after he ate beans with it. I was like, I know he's supposed to be deranged. Like, I know there would be lasting effects of killing your parents because they abused you. But the dude was 25, okay?
Or, yeah.
20, it was like 23 or 25. I was like, my ass.
I looked it up, and he was like 40-something when he filmed.
He was like, I want to be 25. And they were like, we're going to make you, 25.
I wasn't in a motorcycle wreck for nothing. I'm 25.
Yeah.
And then he's like...
Just, God bless, or whoever put together that compilation from Rookie of the Year that's just called Gary Busey noises. If you haven't seen that, just go on YouTube and type in, punch it up on there. Gary Busey noises.
Who is that? Your worst nightmare, butthorn.
Yeah! that whatever he does after Danny Trejo looks up and goes, what the fuck? And he's like, yeah! I wonder what Danny Trejo would do if you called him a butthorn.
I don't know. He probably doesn't even remember that movie. That's from Bulletproof, if you didn't know.
Cite your Busey sources.
Also known as butthorn in certain countries.
Our house?
Yeah. So, see, he kills the dog. He kills the exterminator. Because he's
Why didn't he just leave? Because he built... Okay, he's wandering up the street. What was with him tapping his leg so much?
I don't know. He's deranged.
Is that what you do when you're deranged? I think he had enough...
Every day seems a little crazier when you're Gary Busey and had her in a house.
In a laser suit. But he just kept going like he's walking down the street like... Gary Busey noises. And
Pet justice.
Another time. Oh, that was great. But he's walking down the street and he sees all these construction workers. How did he get past all these construction workers? You just can't walk up on site and be like, hey, fellas, I'm crazy. Mind if I go in? And they're like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah, go ahead. We're done here.
So then, does he go and buy lumber?
I think he just used the leftover lumber that was outside from building the house. Yeah, he's a really good carpenter. I mean, that was a good looking wall for like someone that's been in an institution since he was like 7.
Maybe he drew it so many times with crayons he just knew what to do. Yeah. So they let him out of the asylum because they feel like it's time. What was the ordeal with that one? He was like, I don't know, he still seems crazy. He's pretty fucking crazy.
The state wasn't going to pay for him to be in there anymore.
Okay, it makes sense. That does make sense. And then they let him go. But the last session they had, the guy was looking at a crayon drawing, and I was thinking, like, was that from, like, last week or when you were a kid? What, you still have it? Like, did he get his little kid's suitcase and put all of his drawings in it because he knew he needed them in therapy?
Mm-hmm.
When he burned down the house? Why would he still have that stuff? Was he that preemptive before he did? He was like, okay, gotta pack my favorite dinosaur, my favorite squish toy,
my favorite Bowie knife,
my favorite can of beans, and all my most favorite best drawings.
Pre-Vietnam beans.
Why?
I mean, it happened in the 50s. That's pre-Vietnam.
In the 50s?
Yeah, that's what it said at the beginning of the movie.
Oh, yeah, because it had like a stock image of an old 50s house.
Yeah.
And it was what we thought was Gary Busey as the narrator for his dad.
But it turns out it's just some guy that sounds like Gary Busey.
I was like, maybe Gary Busey went in at the last minute and he was like, hey, I want to do it. And then he just didn't change the credits. And they were like, just leave it. I don't care. I just want to... That guy creeps me out. Let's just move on. Because it's like his dad... It's like when David Lee Hart is yelling at the puppet, I'm the best dad. You're the worst dad. That's sort of made me think of.
But he builds that room in the attic.
Yeah.
And then that's where he's living.
Mm-hmm. And then a family moves in and he's like, what the fuck is this?
This is my house.
And then he's like, it's raping time.
Like, he never raped anybody.
He was thinking about it. He was looking at that dog funny. He thought, he was like, still warm.
So he kills the dog. He kills the exterminator
that comes. And the husband and wife are having kind of a rocky relationship for...
Well, he overhears the husband say that he was cheating on his wife.
Yeah.
So then he's like, I like Mimi Rogers. I'm going to get her to get him caught.
And then that was kind of convoluted how he went about that. He was like, meet me at the restaurant. Try not to be late.
Yeah.
Bring the bowling ball, the cream cheese, and the dynamite.
And he saves the daughter. Like, they have 2 kids, a little boy and a little girl. And he saves the daughter from falling in the pool. But the daughter
saw him in the house.
Yeah.
And was scared.
Yeah.
Because if you see it doesn't matter if that's Gary Busey's house. If you see Gary Busey in the middle of the night and he looks at you with those giant-ass teeth in the darkness, you're going to be scared. It doesn't matter if you're 5 or 53.
Like he was in that movie.
He was 23.
But how did he get... Because he's looking out the window in his little room down at the pool and sees the little girl. And he sees she's about to jump into the pool. How did he get from up there all the way down? But then he comes from this side of the house.
Was it the thing he built that he came down?
But that was coming down straight from his window.
Did he do that later anyway?
What?
Or did he build the thing to climb up the house?
He did it after they moved in because he figured there wasn't a way for him to get out of the house.
Well, you got to think about it. I mean, come on. How you going to get the snowballs and the beans?
But his window's up here. The pool's down here. So that means he would have to come down this way. But in that scene, he runs around the pool like this way. So
he did a lap.
So he comes down and goes all the way around. He had to get warmed up. And then somehow he makes it there in time to save the little girl.
But the way he grabs her ball, I was like, could you have been a little less aggressive? He's like, ha! Always making those noises. Every scene. That's a big thing that just intrudes on this plot. Actually, probably, like, it could have been good. Wouldn't have been amazing, but I would have been like, hey, that's a creepy idea. But like I feel like he wrote in his contract that he'd be allowed to make whatever noises he wanted in every scene. Because just when you're like, oh, he's not bad, then it's like, never mind. Out the window. Not him, though. He goes down the stairs. He takes his time if he wants to save a drowning kid.
So, see, after that, that's when he splits up
Julie and...
Oh, it says on the back.
Julie Dreyer. Julie Dreyer. And Tom Sykes is Gary Busey.
Yeah, so
Phil Dreyer.
Yeah, he splits up Julie and Phil.
Because Phil is banging a hooker or something.
Yeah, he's he tricks her into going to the hotel that Phil is banging a hooker at, and she goes in the room and he's banging a hooker. So. And
he's like, it's not what you think. Why do people always say that in movies, like women or men? It's not what you think. It's like, well, I mean, I saw it. I didn't have to think about it. Like, I synced it.
What would happen to, like, if that backfired on Gary Busey? Like, he gets her to go there to find him banging a hooker, then she's like, oh boy, I'm coming in too. He's like, damn it.
One more person to add to the family. Random hooker who lives in the attic.
But she lives in the attic now?
That's where she'd end up. That's where hookers live.
In the attic?
With Gary Busey.
Not in the basement?
No, basements are for...
Hobolos? It's like a hobo and a weebelo.
I thought that's what Ricky called hobos.
Yeah. So, but she sees the hooker, and then she's mad, and they split up. And then the kids are like the little boy's getting beat up at school. So Gary Busey just happens to be walking by the school and breaks up the fight.
Doing that Busey tap.
And then she's like, "Oh, you saved my son. You want to come over for some lasagna? Hey, Kevin, I made lasagna."
At first, I thought you sounded like Granny Squid.
Oh, I don't want to drive the Segway.
Wouldn't you? Okay, wouldn't you think it was odd that some random guy who doesn't tell you where he lives?
No, he's like, oh, I live on whatever street he said. It was like down the street.
Yeah, but why would he be around your kids so much? I'd be like, don't you have a job? You're creeping me out.
Yeah, you don't have a record, do you? Wouldn't you like look into him?
Yeah, and it's Gary Busey. Wouldn't you be like, oh god, hey, listen, come inside very quickly and don't look at that man again? And you're like, if you ever talk to him again, I will not feed you. That guy's fucking scary.
I know there wasn't internet in 1989 that you could just. Like,
I mean, you go to the police station.
No, that's what I was about to say. You couldn't just Google who is Gary Busey Tom Sykes, but you could you could go to the police station.
It's just Gary Busey saying he's Tom Sykes following some lady's kid around so he could score with her.
But
oh, and there's that creepy neighbor guy who's got like a head you could land a plane on.
He looks like Crispin Glover's like uncle. Like he's like this creepy
It's like more smushed up face. Like if you microwaved and blew up Crispin Glover's face.
Yeah. And he's like, well, she invites Tom inside because he walked the little boy home like a couple days later. And then that dude.
I wouldn't like that. If we had a kid and I'd be like, go inside. I'd be like, what are you doing?
My kid wouldn't be walking home from school.
I walked home from school a lot. Well, not here. It'd be like a million miles. That'd be sadistic. Walk home, boy.
Walk on home, boy.
Or girl. I don't know.
But she invites Gary in, and then that creepy guy that was helping her with the groceries, and he's like checking at her ass. Like, mm-hmm.
And Gary Busey's like, that's my ass.
He's like, I would tap that in season 4 of Wilfred. And then Gary Busey's like, that's my ass.
I love how he goes, ah, ah, ah. Like, it sounded like, instead of him saying, ah, 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 it sounded like some kind of, like, alarm in a compound or something. Ah, ah, ah. Somebody turn Gary Busey's alarm off.
20 minutes till self-destruction.
You're like, just leave it. If it ends it, just leave it.
And see what happened. He only killed like 3 people, didn't he?
He killed Julie's friend.
Yeah, he killed her.
Is it her cousin or what? The one who was like, if you don't want him, I want him. I was like, is he supposed to be attractive?
What are you doing in Julie's house?
At first, though, she was like, look at you. And then he was like, I live here. Like, he could have avoided that. He could have been like, oh, I was visiting and, I was watching the house, but now I'm going to get out of here. Sorry. Didn't mean to get in the way.
And she's like, why are you wearing Phil's robe?
Yeah, that's not creepy at all.
He's like, he could have just been like, I asked if I could take a shower, and this is the only thing I could find.
Yeah. Like, he could have gotten out of this, but instead he just wanted to be
crazy and murdered her, and he killed the fish.
Yeah, what did the fish do?
Come on, Gary. We're going to have to take you to pet court.
I thought you were going to say fish prison.
Fish prison? The ocean?
Yeah. It's like the Zora people run it.
Gary Busey and the Prisoner of Alcatraz.
Gary Busey and the Prisoner of Fish Caban. I'd watch it. It sounds like one of those Disney knockoff movies. Like, instead of Cars, it's like Car.
Wait, what was that?
Crayon King or some shit?
No, it was like something Tutu in the Gary Busey movie. What was that?
Wait, what?
That Gary Busey movie where he was like the wrestler dictator guy.
Shit. What was that called?
It was like something Tutu in the Crimson Mask or something like that.
Let's see. So how did he end up killing her and then he just buried, where did he bury her in the backyard?
Yeah.
Next to the dog. He didn't even dig for like 5 minutes. That dude was just like, sprinkle some dirt.
He took
like
her,
everybody does in movies.
He took her back to the tree row. That one that showed their backyard that wasn't there. Yeah, what was that? Something Tutu and the something. But
I just searched Gary Busey Tutu dictator, so maybe I should switch it up.
Yeah, like Gary Busey.
Gary Busey
filmography.
Busey.
That was like in the mid 90s, early 2000s, I think, maybe. Pretty sure.
Oh wait, there it is. Jacob Tutu and the Hooded Fang.
Oh yeah, that's it.
That, I like when that was done. I was like,
what did we just watch?
That's one of those movies, not quite as bad as Eraserhead, but like, once you're done, you're just like...
Well, it's a kid's movie, though.
What poor kid rented that? Oh, but I would also like to know, since this came out on video, anybody listening, did you rent this? I mean, it's a pretty clear cover. You're not going to be deceived. Yeah. Gary Busey staring in the window. Either you're like, oh, fuck yeah, this is going to be ridiculous, or who would be like, oh, this looks interesting. I don't know who that is. I'm going to rent it. And then they're like, what?
Yeah, I just happened to, I was looking on eBay one day and I was like, Hider in the House with Gary Busey. I got to buy that. Yeah,
we were going on, we were watching like a lot of Gary Busey movies and...
Well, that's what started it.
Yeah. And I think it was after we were watching Steven Seagal movies and Jean-Claude Van Damme stuff.
Yeah, we were just like binging all of Steven Seagal's 90s.
Equally as funny as Gary Busey.
But none of them, like, why wasn't Steven Seagal ever in a horror movie? I don't got time for that. I'm too busy being...
He can't snap... Well, he could snap somebody's neck.
Russian and Native American and Italian and... everything else that I'm not.
Is that like how Tommy Wiseau says he's from Poland, and then sometimes he says he's from like France, and then sometimes he says he's from Jupiter?
No, he is from Poland apparently.
He is from Jupiter.
But he says he's from Louisiana.
That's so random.
Hi, Mark.
Whatever, man.
Hi, doggy.
Oh, hi, Mark. You're my favorite customer. Oh man, look at that cover.
Yeah, that's the tape we have.
I don't know if you could see that. I'm holding up the
Jacob Tutu and the Hooded Fang.
Yeah.
Rated PG-13.
No, that was 99, so that was the year after Hider in the House. No, that was like
10 years later.
Look, I'm tired. Give me a break here.
So, he kills the friend, and then he replaces the goldfish.
That is immediately noticeable.
Yeah, because
didn't even try and find. Did he not pay attention to the poor fish? Did he not know the dimensions of the fish?
He could have took the dead fish to the pet store and got a replacement.
I need something better than this.
My little boy is gonna find that it's not the same.
No, he'd straight up probably just be like, "Hey, I'm living in somebody else's house in the attic, and I killed a friend, and the fish went, so I had to get a new fish. You got something for me?" And the guy at the store is like, "I don't get paid enough for this. Here, this looks so similar. Just get out of the store."
It's orange. Come on.
And at this point, when he starts to get familiar with Julie, and she seems to kind of like him, which is totally just... But he has been deleting Phil's messages, too, on the answering machine about apologizing and stuff. Because he wants to prevent them getting back together, because it's his family now.
But then they get back together.
But he gets up the courage. He's in the attic loudly reciting what he's gonna say to her. Wouldn't the kid be like,
"Shut up!
The attic's talking, Mommy, making funny noises, going hey hey."
It smells like snowballs and beans up there and farts.
Where did that dude take shits? I know he went to the bathroom when nobody was there, but like, if
I guess he just held it all night.
He had to have had dirty old piss jugs in there.
I remember that one scene. He's like, she's telling the kids good night, and he's like, "Good night," like in the little intercom thing.
Yeah.
And how did he know how to wire in an intercom thing to work in his little room?
Where did he go to trade school in the crazy house?
I don't know.
Maybe I should go to the crazy house and I could learn some skills. So I don't have to worry.
Like how to open a can of beans with a Bowie knife. How to open a snowball with a Bowie knife.
Hey, I'm all set there. I could probably do that. But he gets up the courage to ask her out, and he's like loudly saying, Julie, I was walking down the street, and I happened to see your house that I live in, and I wanted to see, but he kept saying, would you like to take in a movie with me tonight? If anyone ever said that to you, you'd be like, take in?
The what now?
Who says that? Please leave.
Yeah. We took in this movie.
That just makes you think of like a stray dog, like you're going to take in a stray dog.
Yeah.
Come here, hide her in the house. Come here. But he's, would you like to take in a movie with me tonight, Julie? Like, you might as well have a bullhorn in the attic saying it. Nobody would be like, who the fuck?
Hey,
that's that guy.
Julie, will you take in a movie with me?
He doesn't even have to get up the courage. You just go over to the intercom and be like, Julie, this is Phil, your husband. I'm in the attic. Come get me.
Don't take off the mask. Or the beans.
The beans stay.
The beans stay on during sex.
Nope. I'm not continuing that one. That's nightmarish. So he comes to the door the next day. I love how this man has to have gotten dressed in Phil's clothes, which, how would you not know that?
Yeah.
Coming to the door in your husband's clothes. And he's like, bam, 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 which is not how you knock on somebody's door unless you're the fucking, what's it called?
The Michelin Man.
The secret police or something.
The KGB.
Yeah, well, I was thinking of that Dead Kennedys song.
The Spanish Inquisition.
Here comes the secret police. They're coming for your uncool niece, or whatever he says.
Your uncool niece?
That's what I said, uncle niece.
Not
said, uncle niece.
Uncle niece.
Your Uncle Liam Neeson's coming with me. But he like pounds on the door. He's like, Julie! Julie! Didn't he say her name really weird?
Yeah.
Meow! Julie! Oh, shit.
Uh-oh.
My alarm. But he knocks on the door and he's like, Julie, would you like to take in a movie with me? Or he says it like he's angrily been reciting it to himself. Like he knows it's already going to be a no. Which it is. He's like, I was walking down the street and saw your house that I live in, and I was wondering, would you like to take in a movie with me? And she's like, oh, I gotta. No.
No.
And
Go away.
It's not necessary. And she starts shutting the door because he's getting like aggressive.
And he's like trying to push it open.
And he kept saying, no. No. Yeah, that just brings you closer.
Closer to the
That's actually
heart.
how we got together, is that he just kept asking me to take in stuff with him. And I was saying, no, shutting the door on him. And you know what? I saw his little space in the attic, and I was like, this guy must really like me. He brought beans.
But she finally gets the door closed, and then he starts kicking and punching it in. And then
Possibly having bean farts escape his butthole.
Then Filbert shows up.
Oh, fish sticks.
He's like, who's that?
An eye for an eye, huh? I had a hooker, you got that guy? Nice. Did a little better than you.
I could have remembered when we watched this before that he burned down the house at the end of it, but he didn't.
No, he didn't. He tried to. That's his answer. If it doesn't work out, just burn it down.
Hopefully they moved, because that would be like traumatic. Like, I wouldn't want to live there anymore.
Those kids are fine. You know, there's a guy living in there. He was nice. He taught them how to fight. I taught them how to fight. I saved your girl from drowning. Did you know that? How would she know that? How would she fucking know that? That's okay. So she rejects him, and then he gets super bent out of shape, and Phil shows up, and they get back together, and he's like listening to them get it on, which took like 5 seconds.
And he was like,
just hugging on his knife. And then he just goes crazy, and I guess he makes some noises and leaves the door open so she could see, and he's doing the little gremlin
dance.
crouch, huh?
The no pants dance.
Would you like to come to a party? Pants party.
The party of the pants.
Did Champ tell you to say that?
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes. Yes, he did. He's like doing the little gremlin crouch behind the door. And then she realizes that that's where he lives. And she's freaking out. And he's like, yep, it's me. And
it's Tom.
I don't understand that twist there. Like, you wanted her. What did he think was going to happen? Is it like what I said? Like, wow, he must really care a lot about me and my children enough to want to live in our house and watch every move we make. That's really touching. I'm calling the police.
Every breath you take.
And then a fight ensues because Phil comes up there they go downstairs because she does. I mean, I thought it was pretty smart of her to be like, oh yeah, I really like you. Honest and for truly, let's go downstairs and we could tell Phil to leave. And he's like, that sounds good. Let's go downstairs. You make me something to eat too, because that's what you're gonna be doing a lot for me. I'm hungry, man. You understand?
I like my biscuits and gravy on the warm side.
The warm side of what? Your ass. But
so they go downstairs.
Yeah, and then Phil's like, what the fuck? And he starts to, chaos just happens, and then he's stabbing him with a poker and stuff. You shouldn't have come back. This was a big thing that Gary Busey said. You lied to me, Julie. You told me to come by. And she's like, what? You told me
I could come by whenever I wanted.
That was his big thing, that she lied.
Mm-hmm. She lied. She shouldn't have lied to him.
That's just weird. That's what set him off. When you'd think him getting rejected by the person that lived in the house with him. It's like if you had a roommate you didn't really interact with, then all of a sudden you were like, would you like to take in a movie with me tonight? And they're like, and then you're just like, you shouldn't have lied to me. And then you just start stabbing them.
Yeah.
Except it's not a roommate. It's like a legal roommate.
Yeah. So then they fight, and then the cops come.
And they shoot Gary Busey because Tom Sykes was about to shoot himself and Julie. And the last thing he said was, you shouldn't have lied. It's not like this was part of his past where he had an issue with liars.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
He had an issue with abusive parents.
Like I said earlier, I know that this would have a lot of psychological trauma. But if you're in an institution and you're being evaluated regularly and you're getting therapy and the things you need, granted, thinking that this is a good facility, because I know there's a lot of neglect in those places, but just in this scenario, if it was a good place, don't you think he would have gotten better? It's like you said, like, why didn't he, if he was that good of a carpenter, just get a job. Yeah.
You get an apartment.
Get a woman the old-fashioned way, carpentry.
And usually,
I love the way you built that. Wow. I'm going to make you some biscuits and gravy on the warm side.
And usually when, like, they release someone from, like, a place like that, they go back to their hometown and they whack Doyle Hargraves upside the head with a lawnmower blade. But usually they help you find a house.
I reckon.
And, like, they'll help you find somewhere to stay, like somewhere to get a job.
He's fine.
They're just
Ha! It's like
Ain't
Gary
no
Busey
gas
says.
in
But it doesn't really say an ending. You know, Gary Busey's dead at this point. Cops killed him.
He dead. Even though we told you the ending, you should still go watch it, though.
Yeah, you know what? I would watch this any day over the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. Whoa. Hold it up for he's just rubbing his beard on the mic. I was going to say hold it up for a screen. I don't know if you do those. But, nope. All right. I think we covered everything. There are just too many weird and crazy moments to go over everything. It's Gary Busey. If you know anything about him, if you've seen him in anything, you know it's going to be goofy. But it's always enjoyable. It's like that shitty one about like a biker gang that he was in, and then they're old men.
Eye of the Tiger?
Yes. Oh, man. I would watch that any day over any new movie.
And that was before his motorcycle accident, when he was still normal.
Well, what do you give this movie out of 8 Gary Busey's? Ha! All right, 10. 10 has.
It's probably my second favorite Gary Busey movie.
What's your first? Bulletproof?
No.
Rookie of the Year?
No. Point Break.
Oh, yeah.
Give me 2.
That one's a great movie. I really like that, but he's not a main character. But he's a good character.
Yeah. Then that, and then Bulletproof.
I agree, but Rookie of the Year is...
and then Quigley, because it's about a game developer. Because
I forgot that's what it was about.
I'm into games, so I like gamer movies.
Gamer boy.
Well, but
my name's Tennessee, and I'm a pizza freak.
I give it 8.5. Ha! It's out of 10.
I give it a
3 wet kisses.
I give it 2 out of 2.
2 for 2. 2 for.
All right, I you know what? I'm gonna give it an 8.
An 8.
8.
What did I say? 8.5.
Yeah.
Sounds pretty good to me.
2 hot dogs does sound good.
I'm not sure if it's streaming anywhere, but I mean...
You could go to Gary Busey's house and ask him to act it out for you, and he should oblige.
Yeah, see what it's going for on the eBay right now.
All right, you continue saying things for a little while.
Because I think I only paid like $5 for it or something. It wasn't a whole lot back in the day when I bought it, but I mean, that was before the grading and Instagram people that just want to buy the tape and have it on their shelf and never watch it started getting popular. Oh, and I like the Buddy Holly story too.
I have not seen that. It says it came out in 91 on here. $13. You get a hider in the house. Pre-owned. Lowest price on eBay for $13.
It says copyright 1989, Vestron Pictures 1990 Incorporated when the tape came out.
Well, they got it wrong then. They were wrong.
You were wrong. What about the DVD? Did it come out on DVD? I guess so.
I don't...
DVD.
Who started to own Vestron Video?
One of the other companies bought them out.
Because they would be the ones to re-release it, I believe.
Yeah.
I guess.
Buy it once. Buy it twice. Buy it a third time.
It looks like it's only on tape. For about $12 to $13. Hider in the House. Matthew Patrick, Stranger in the House. Why does it say Hider in the House? I don't know. It goes for about $12 on eBay.
So go get you a copy today.
It's worth it. Barbie in the Nutcracker. In the Nutcracker?
In the Nutcracker?
Well, that's 450. I don't know why that came up when I searched a Gary Busey movie. Maybe that's one of his favorites?
Barbie is a nutcracker.
Barbie is a nutcracker. Okay. I'm tired.
What was that? Blinded with Science?
I don't know.
All right, let's get out of here. Let's let these people go back to the rest of their day, not listening to us yak about crappy Texas Chainsaw Massacre and good Gary Busey movie.
Yes, and maybe sometime soon, maybe separately or on the podcast, we could talk about Final Fantasy VIII. We might not. I don't know, because that's
nerd shit.
Oh, not nerd shit. I was gonna say really personal. I feel like that game makes me feel ways about things, but it's a great game.
We will, like I said earlier, we might watch Kill Granny Kill, a 2015 very low budget independent horror movie by Jacob Ennis. He lives like 50 miles from us, and I just like found it randomly on Amazon the other day, and I was
because that cover's awesome. Whoever paints the covers for his movies, because you showed me the newer one.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
Like I just bought it randomly, and I came in and started researching the director, and it turns out he lives like right next to us.
That's pretty crazy. It's cool.
And I added him on Facebook, and I've been chatting with him. But we're gonna watch.
Punched him up on the Facebook.
I punched in his name, and there he came up.
Just right on the keyboard.
But we're gonna watch that, and we're gonna tell you about it, and tell you where to get it.
And the other movie that Arty sent us.
Yeah, and we're gonna try to watch V over here. It's back there. We'll try to watch that and talk about it soon too. And here in a few weeks, we might have a different background, maybe.
Yeah, I hope so. I'm sure we could get it done. Yeah. We're planning on doing something.
If we do, we might like try to. I don't want to take a break from doing the podcast, but we might try to double it up and like do 2 in a day or something, like just to have enough to.
Yeah, maybe not sleep so long.
Yeah.
We only have 2 days off.
Yeah, but
we gotta go back to work tonight.
Yep. Wake.
Truthfully, it seems like you only get one night off.
Yeah.
Anyhow, thank you for listening. Did you want to add anything else?
I made a Twitter account, and Twitter.
That I have nothing to do with, because I don't want to mess with Twitter.
Twitter is I don't get it. So if you're on Twitter, you can Twitter us.
Throw your personal bird over to us.
Like Angry Bird style. Just launch it over at us. And we got Instagram and a Facebook page, and then of course Anchor, that you our podcast platform.
Yeah, or any platform you want. And then last thing about Blood Curse, if you want any CDs, we have 9 left.
Yeah. So
after that,
get one while you can.
Yeah.
Because I need to message the label that helped us put them out, and maybe he has more.
I don't know. We have tapes. We have more tapes than CDs. So grab a CD if you want now. Bloodcurse.bandcamp.com. That link will also be below.
Mm-hmm. And
I think the cat's yelling at me to feed her.
Yep. So we're going to get out of here and feed our cat.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Appreciate
you. Ha!
Ha! Bye.